Welcome everybody, welcome to 10 Minute Reviews. Jason here bringing you today's video. As always guys, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Don't forget to check the links down below for links to today's book and anything else that might be applicable. I could use the traffic through the Amazon link, so I definitely appreciate it. The contest is obviously over. It was over almost a month ago. I'm sending out the emails right now to the winners. I do have more signed books, so I will be doing more contests coming up. And thank you very much to our patrons. I'll be sending out those prize winners as well. And otherwise, let's get into today's video. So for today's video, we're going to be talking about Undying Magician 3 by Shane Purdy. Those of you guys who have been watching for a little while have discovered that Shane Purdy is rapidly becoming one of my go-to authors. I really enjoy almost everything he's written. There's one series he wrote that I just couldn't get into, but for the most part his stuff has been a lot of fun. What I really like is The Undying Magician has gone away from his other fascinations as far as the whole wolf and anthropomorphic wolf, werewolf, ice wolf, all those wolf themes that he seems to have in all of his books. Great that he has something he's really passionate about, but it was getting kind of old reading about the same things over and over again. Vampires, of course, are also something that does tend to pop up a lot in his books, and unfortunately it did in this one as well, but it's pretty small. So the Undying Magician thing, one of the things I like about it is the world. It's a lit RPG-ish type of fantasy thing where there are levels to their magical abilities. However, it has nothing to do with getting experience points, and you don't have stats for your physical attributes and stuff like that. But you do have your arcs of mana that you have to extend out to a certain number, and ways of forming and casting spells. But outside of that, it's more of a modern-ish, urban fantasy-ish kind of thing, because we do have things like airplanes and sniper rifles and things along those lines. In fact, guns are still a major part of this. What I also really like is the way he did the magic. Magic is using mana in a specific way in order to create sort of a prescribed effect. So he basically turned spells into computer programs. In order for wizards to learn how to say create a new spell, they have to program it. In order to learn how to do a spell they don't already know, they have to study the program that someone else has already written, or write one themselves. And even if they find a spell that they do like, but they want to modify it slightly, they have to go into the programming and they have to figure out what they need to change within the wording of the programming in order to cast that spell with the change that they want to do. So it's pretty cool. You've got magic and magical abilities, and some almost god level magicians, very few, but they are there. And then you've got sniper rifles and airplanes and boats and television and computers and computer programming that is a big thing as far as the spells go. So we're back with Nathan Fox. He's still out on this other continent. Theoretically, no one knows where he's at. He's been kind of hidden away by this S-tier magician, the super powerful magician, of which there's only maybe a half a dozen on the planet. And he's slowly been learning more about his magic, more about what he can do, what his particular immortality is. We already figured out where it comes from, sort of a leakage from previous wizards fighting in an area he wasn't supposed to be in. So it's basically time magic, and his body is basically being reset. He also has death magic within him, now that he has basically been almost apprenticed to a necromancer in a way. He's got fire magic, he's got death magic, he's got time magic. Now theoretically, no wizard has more than one type of magic, and Nathan is turning out to have multiple types of magic, and he's learning how to harness those. At the same time, unfortunately, he seems to be becoming this at the opening of the book, kind of almost a mayor or a governor, because he's got his little Undying Magician caverns that he's taken in these refugees, and he's shielded them, and that's slowly turning into a city. And it's turning into a city that is becoming more and more his responsibility. He does have people that he has tasked different areas to take care of it and manage it, but it seems to be growing, and people are looking at him as some form of lord. So maybe mayor governor is the wrong word, possibly like a baron or duke or a count or something along those lines, which would be very fitting, because this continent he is on has dukes and barons and such like that, plus this former former king of the entire area, which is also happens to be his mentor. Excuse me. Now, he's already killed a couple of barons, and now more of the barons are starting to come after him in this book. Some of them learn that they're making a big mistake. Others learn as they're going through, and then others decide they really don't want anything to do with him. Now, unfortunately, while this is going on, his existence starts to leak out. Or not necessarily his existence, but his mentor's existence starts to leak out. And the appearance of this immortal, ultra-powerful wizard kind of brings together the others that are actually fighting each other on the other continent. And they redirect their attention towards this particular continent that's been hidden by an illusion, so that they thought it was basically just a wasteland. Now they discover that it is slowly reviving back into a kingdom. And that's one thing. Nathan is starting to be looked at as the heir to this kingdom. Some people are starting to refer to him as a prince, as someone that could and should rightfully rule this area. So they decide that these combatants in this other continent are now going to do their fighting on this continent, sort of a war in proxy, a war on a neutral ground, and they're going to go to war with this continent that Nathan is on. Now, this leads to sort of alliances being built within the warring barons that were already there on the continent, most of whom were fighting either Nathan or each other. It kind of leads to this weird little magically enforced truce, magically enforced agreement, which also requires Nathan to have to personally take part in the upcoming battles, which he is actually more than willing to do, for a set period of time, a small period of time every single month, while the rest of them have to furnish troops for this fight. So Nathan knows he is going to get outed. He's going to get outed very, very, very soon to his friends and to his family and to the people that knew of him and thought that he was dead. One of the things that the book ends on that I find very, very interesting is it starts to hint that the other continents are starting to turn an eye towards what's going on here. So we might get a view of the broader world as well. The first few books, it really made it seem like this one continent that Nathan was a part of was kind of the whole world, and it really, really wasn't. It was just one continent. Then we have another smaller continent that is where Nathan's at now, but there are other continents with other kingdoms and other powers, and they are all starting to take a look now. So it should get interesting. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun little read. You guys should definitely check it out if you haven't already. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll catch you next time. Bye now.